All right, so before we begin this tutorial, um, I do need to recommend you guys pick up Quad Remesher. The link is in the description. This is a focal point to this tutorial. The cool thing about getting this from directly from these guys are you can name your price on what you want to pay for it. I believe I might have said maybe $1, $2 or so, but this plugin is absolutely amazing, and it's essential to what we're trying to do here. So make sure you guys give it a download, and then go ahead and start the tutorial. We'll do the walkthrough, get you guys all set. Firstly, this is Hellfire's render. So what I like to do is I will usually use his as a base before I start to draw my own textures. So I use these for the general shape, and I'll pretty much splice out whatever I need. So I got the centerpiece, which is right here, and I will use the magic wand tool. I'll select it in the empty spaces. Now make sure that contagious is unclicked. Once you do that, what you want to do is just right click and select inverse. Once you click select inverse, you'll right click again. You'll click make work path. I like to use 3.5 pixels. It seems like the sweet spot. You could probably go to 3 if need be, if the shape is a little bit off for your liking. But for me, 3.5 typically works for just about anything that I'm doing. I could always make changes once I get it into Blender. So that's not really a problem for me. So we'll go ahead, we'll click OK. So as you can see, it pretty much shaped everything around the title. Now, the shape is not completely perfect, and if you wanted to manually get it as perfect as possible, you can select the pen tool and make your own manual work paths and just shape it, perfectly around your picture or title shape or what have you. So from here, what we'll do is we'll go up to File, Export, Paths to Illustrator. Paths, work path, make sure that's selected. Hit OK. And then I'm already inside my folder, so I'm going to name this center plate. So once we got that saved, I'll bring it into Cinema 4. I'll open up Cinema 4D, and we'll go to, on the right side, File, Merge Objects, and let me go to my D drive. And we'll select the centerplate.ai file. You just hit OK, and you should see like the general shape open up. So once we get here, what you want to do is this subdivision surface up here on the top middle portion of the toolbar. You want to left click and hold it and go to extrude. You click that, come over to your right side, and you're gonna drag and drop the center plate or the object, whatever you named your object file, into extrude. So as you can see, it just made it into a 3D object. So now you have options at this particular point right here. You can do all your extrusion within Cinema 4D, and then just export it as an OBJ. Personally, what I like to do is I will click on extrusion. I will set the depth to 0. I will just make it completely flat. You want to make sure that you click flip normals, and we'll select that piece, go up to File, Export, OBJ. We'll name this center plate final. Click Save. And normally what I'll do is for normals, I'll click skip. Texture coordinates, we'll skip that as well because we have to reprocess that stuff anyways. There's no sense in generating it. No materials. Other than that, we can hit OK. And that pretty much completes that portion of it. Now, you're gonna follow that same process for your side plates. Even like if you bring in diamond 3D objects and things like that, you can create literally anything that you want, any type of shape you can bring in from say Photoshop or anything from any type of picture and make it to a 3D object to use what you want in the game. So from there, I'm going to open up Blender, go to File, Import, MDL, and we are going to first open up the championship that we're using as a base. So trios, we'll go to 152 default. I think that's the one. Is this the bended? Yep, perfect. So now we have the base that we're going to use. From there, we'll go back to File, Import, Wavefront OBJ, go back to the Trios folder, and we'll select the center plate final. And I mean, this doesn't really matter, either or you're okay. We'll just leave it as split for now. And so once you select, I'm sorry, let me take a step back. So what I did was on the right side, I selected the actual object that we just put in, and I hit the S button to resize. So we're gonna try to get it close to the size of the belt. Now obviously you'll make your tweaks depending on how big the belt needs to be, so on and so forth, but we're just doing a quick run through today. So I'll hit S and you'll start to see your object. We'll get it to about right there. From there, we'll hit the R button and then X. So we'll bring it down, try to get it as even as possible. For this tutorial, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I just want to give you guys the basics on getting the retopology done, and the method that I use to get everything moving. So from there, I'll hit G and Z to move it up, and then G, Y. So we'll just get it. All right, so we got to modify it just a little bit more. So now we got it about right there. So I'm actually going to move this up just a tad bit more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this the original center plate, get that out the way. So now from there, what you want to do is reselect your new center plate. And once it's highlighted, you'll hit your tab button. So now you'll notice the UVs really doesn't show anything. It's just a bunch of points, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. You'll hit the E button to extrude, and you can go with as much thickness as you might want. As you can see, you can pull it way out. Championships, you don't need it all the way down there. So we'll just go about right here. And we are going to hit A to select all. And what we're going to do is we are going to hit this arrow over here. And we're going to go down to quad remesh. And you pretty much just want to kind of fiddle around with the settings over here. What I would probably do is set it to about 75 or so. Like I said, you can play around with it if you want to try to get the vertice count a little bit lower. So from there, we'll just hit remesh, and then we'll see what the results are. Usually, sometimes it'll take a couple times for me to get it absolutely perfect, but we'll see what it looks like in just a second. So what we got actually doesn't look bad at all. I really like it. So what you'll notice is it added a whole bunch of points, which is quads. the game reads this perfectly. This will allow for the plate to morph the way it's supposed to. So when the belt bends, moves, so on and so forth within the game, the center plate is going to follow. So now from there, we are going to hit tab, and we are going to go to shading, and hit Shift A, go down to texture, image texture, and we're just going to load this up so that way we can assign the UVs. So as you can see right now, the UVs aren't, it doesn't exactly know which area to read. So this is the part we're up to now. So what we're going to do is you want to hit Z on your viewpoint just to get a straight look. We'll hit A to select it all. And then, well, before we do that, we'll come over to the left side, select the belt texture. And then we'll come back to the right side. You want to make sure your mouse is over here, or else it'll try to control the opposite side if the mouse pointer is on the left side. So you'll come back to the right side. You'll make sure all of this is selected in orange. Hit your U button, and you'll click Project from View. So now, as you can see, it brought up the shape of the championship on your left side. So now to pretty much get this thing to match up, first I'll hit the letter G. We'll get it sort of in the middle, and then you'll left click to confirm, and then we'll hit the S button to pretty much resize to try to get this thing as perfect as possible. So it's close. I'm gonna hit the letter G to do a full move, X to keep it on the X axis, which is side by side. And we'll just try to get that as close as possible. So now, as you can see, pretty much has everything there. Now obviously you'll want your metallic shine and all that good stuff like that. That comes from generating your normals and all that good stuff. So what we'll do from here, I also want to show you guys how to bend the plate. So if you need to bend the plate specifically for this model here, what we'll do first is we're going to move this. We're going to move this piece down to try to get it as close to the championship as we can. About right there. Should be close enough. And then, excuse me, we'll go over to add modifier. And we'll go to simple deform. You want to hit this the origin offset the origin orientation, and you'll select the championship belt as the origin. So once you select that, we're gonna click bend, go to your Z axis, and as you can see, now the bend is matching the championship, and you just want to modify the angle to get it as perfect as possible. So that's pretty close. And obviously, if you want to, you can resize the belt, so on and so forth. But like I said, this right here, it's pretty much just a rough draft. So what I'll do now, and I know my Photoshop, it acts a bit weird when it comes to generating the normals and such, but I do want to show you guys that generation. So what I'm gonna do is we'll go up to image, adjustments. I'm sorry, image, filter, 3D, generate normal map. So all newer Photoshops, they pretty much are discontinuing the 3D feature, which is okay. It should still work. Now, these are typically the settings I use. Now, I might tweak the detail scale usually between 25 and 32-ish. But like I said, this is all just an example just to get you guys the general basis of everything. So what I'm going to do is, because you have to flip these normals as well. So I'm going to click invert height and we'll hit OK. Now it's probably going to act a little bit funny, but that's fine. Now from here, we're going to hold control and press I. So as you can see, even though the top portion is messing up, and it's more so because of Photoshop, I got to restart the program after generating normals. But you'll see that it pretty much flipped it. For metallic finish, your normals have to be yellow. The other thing that I do like to tweak is the blue channel. Because if it's too dark, it'll reflect too dark in the game. So what we'll do for now is we'll just go ahead and save this. I just want to, get you guys a quick sample of what it'll look like in Blender. We'll say that as belt. You know what? Let's just do the full name. Belt NRM. Save. Okay. We'll come back to Blender. We'll go to shading. Shift A. We'll go texture. Image texture. Connect that to the normal. Trios Championship. Belt NRM.tiff. So as you can see now, it's showing, it's looking more like a championship now. But you still have to hit Shift A again. You want to go to Vector, Normal Map, connect those two together. And then, all right, so now I'm going to teach you guys how to modify the blue channel. There's a couple ways you can do it. This is just a quick way. What we'll do is we will go to adjustments, levels, and I usually modify this middle channel right here. As you can see, if you go right, it gets darker. If you go left, it gets lighter. Now it's all on just playing around with it. I might just leave this right here just to kind of keep it fairly dark and just modify the black portion of it, make it like almost like a darker gray, if that makes sense. You just got to kind of play around with it, see what shine works for the particular championship that you're going for, and you should be good. So we'll just, just for now, we'll go right here, and we're going to save this separately. So we'll copy and paste, make a new file, and this is solely for Blender, as well as the championship suite file, which is going to be your roughness. So we'll go ahead, export this. Name this roughness. We'll come back here, Shift A, texture. We'll connect this to roughness. We'll choose a roughness. So as you can see, now it's really, coming together. We'll move that aside just to get it out the way. And then now what we need is a metallic map. Now metallic is going to be white. So pretty much what you could do is hold control and then hit I. and then we'll go to save as, and then we'll name this metal. And like I said, you'll need these same files as DDS format, within, to bake it within Cake Tools, because you'll need those to, so the title shows properly within Creation Suite. The file format reads a little bit differently than what it does when you're using it within game. So we'll go Shift A, texture, there, metallic, and then we'll select metal. And as you can see, so color space, you want to choose non-color. And we also got to choose that for the roughness as well. I completely forgot about that. So as you can see, it's looking pretty good. So just so I can get a slightly more complete picture for you guys, select that for the belt. Now, as you can see, the one thing I didn't do was the side plates, but it's looking pretty dang good in my opinion. And this is just a, a quick run through, just to kind of get you guys on pace with everything. Go through that. So the one other thing that you need to do once all your custom objects are completed is you'll want to, for one, you'll need to rename your objects. So the Retop plugin, which I will link you guys to that in the beginning of this video. Well, I'll put it in the description. I'm sorry. You want to rename that to belt skinned, and usually I'll name this as a center plate. So we'll go here. Yeah, well, center. I'm sorry. And the way that you rig everything, you'll select the old rig first. I mean the old model first. So as you can see, it's got the old model selected, the base model, and then you'll hold shift, select your new model. You'll go up to your top left side, go to weight paint, click on weights, transfer weights, come down to your bottom left to transfer mesh data. You'll select vertex mapping, nearest face 𝗲𝗓populated, radius 5, and you'll change active layer to by name. And that's pretty much it. You're following that same process for every custom object that you put in. So whether it's your diamonds, whether it's your side plates, even if you're using a new belt strap, like if you made one customly, you'll follow that same routine. You'll just use whatever the base is, the base MDL. You'll transfer weights from that to your new one. So from there, you want to select your all your custom objects that would be in this top collection. You'll select the skeleton, so you'll hold shift. Well, I'm sorry, hold control, and then you'll come over to the main screen, right click, come down to parent, and hit object. So that just brought all your custom objects down to. It basically added it to the collection of the MDL file. Now from there, you'll pretty much go to armature, select object skeleton, and you're pretty much good to go. The only other thing that you'll want to do is you will want to confirm this simple deform, and that's just hitting this arrow, clicking apply, and you're good to go. And from there, you'll select all your objects, go up to File, Export, click .mdl, save it, drag and drop all your textures, and you're pretty much good to go.